What's going on, you guys? Back with another live. And so, I want to talk about how the narcissist just wants to destroy your identity. And like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to just give a little quick story to explain how narcissists, how they work in overtime to prove a point. And the point is that they refuse to accept defeat. So when narcissists refuse to accept defeat, they know who they are, and they know that the day will come when they will be revealed. They will be exposed. But to the narcissist who finds themselves kind of stuck in a position, they're still going to have to find ways to prove who they are. And they're not going to accept anything that makes them look like they will come second to anyone. They have to always be first. They have to always take the lead position. Or they'll feel like they're overlooked. They'll feel like no one noticed them. And they also feel like they don't matter. They feel defeated if they're not in a lead position. They always have to take lead in every situation. So, what I want to talk about is how the narcissist, let's say that people are finally starting to see who they are. So they can't hide it anymore. It's like they're cornered. They're caught and they feel trapped. And when a narcissist feels trapped, all they're going to do is pretend, play victim to get people to feel sorry for them. Some of them, they might get silent, might disappear for a while. They may even take on a different role and pretend. Of course, they're good at pretending and putting on an act to make people think that they have changed. And until it works for a while, and it will work on some people will believe that the narcissist has intentions on changing, even though they've showed zero remorse or accountability for things that they have done in the past. They just want the past to be ignored. They want all of their actions from the past to be ignored, looked over, and forgotten about. They want it to disappear like it never happened. But that's not how things go in reality. But in the narcissist's mind, they can control the way people see things. And that's why if they feel like they can control the way people see things, they can also control how people see you. And through that, they will desperately try to destroy your identity. Because if they feel like someone is on to them enough to expose them and destroy them, they have to beat them at their game. They look at everything as a game. When it's just a matter of time, well, everything in the dark will come to light. And that also goes for the narcissist and everything that they've done. Their track record will follow them. But the thing about it is, they put on an act to make people forget about what they've done and look at who they're pretending to be in the moment. And for the most part, sad to say, sometimes that works for the narcissist. But when it doesn't, we want to talk about for the very few who they can't pull that on. Those are the ones who they try to destroy completely. They want to get them out the way. They want to shush them, gag them, and make sure that they don't blow things up for them. Because they hate to have to face who they are. That's why they work so hard to destroy your identity. And I want to tell y'all a story of how I witnessed this. I witnessed it and was somewhat a part of it. So there are these two people who were very close at one time. These two girlfriends. They were close at one time. But one of them was which was narcissist. Of course, do what narcissists do. But the friends start to notice like different things about them that made them feel uncomfortable and made them feel like I don't want to be around you as much anymore. So they start to fall back from the narcissist. And one day the narcissist confronted them in a way like a lot of narcissists do. Like they feel like they have the right to check you because you're moving differently now, which they have no right to check somebody because they got a life just like them. They have a life outside of just those two being together. So the narcissist checked her, and the friend was like, well, I just kind of felt like you started to act like this and act like that. And I just said I need to give you some space. And I just been busy lately. But she was straight up about it and told her about herself first before she let her know. And then that gave me time to focus on other things. And the way she responded to the narcissist was perfect. I could have said it better myself. And I was sitting back just watching. And so she she asked me one day had I seen her. And I said, yeah. And she started to notice that she would see us talking sometimes, but the friend wasn't really approaching her anymore or coming her way. So she started to probably feel jealous and notice that. And, they pay attention to stuff, even though they may not say nothing right away. But they take account for everything you do that, just kind of make them feel away. So the narcissist start to feel like, oh, so now she's acting funny. And she's acting funny with her. Me being the person who the narcissist had already tried to smear. I didn't know that at the moment, but that's what I found out by talking to her friend. And so I was like, well, you didn't have to warn. I didn't tell her this, but she didn't have to warn me about her because I already know how narcissists operate. See, I knew she was a narcissist from the jump. The friend was just figuring her out, but couldn't put a name on it. So we got to talking about it. And, the more we talked, the more she revealed herself as being such. And so I didn't have to work hard and trying to convince her or warn her. This pretty much was an easy thing to get her to see. And it's not always like that. Like a lot of times, we know not to really worry about warning someone about the narcissist because it ain't gonna do no good. But in this case, this person came to me first. And so we exchanged numbers, not exchanged numbers. I gave her my number and we started to talk. And we just started to compare things, and it just went from there. And that's good when you can find a good support system. You can find people who get it. And that's rare. You're not going to always find someone who's going to admit to the realness and what they see and what they've been through. A lot of times they're going to want to kind of cover it with the way they want things to turn out to be or the way they want to see the person. But me and her was able to keep it real about dealing with that person. I had already seen it a mile away, but I would no need, I had no need to warn her. So anyway, she was losing this person and she was feeling it and going through all the withdrawals of a narcissist who's losing supply. Her friend was a good source of supply. And when we had this conversation, I told her, I noticed all the signs of the jealousy. I noticed how she would speak to you in ways to where she's above you and how she would need you to assist her, in so many different ways. But I just felt like you really didn't see it like that, like I did. And And she just was like, yeah, and that's one of the reasons, it was just so many reasons why she felt the need to fall back from her. And she said, but what did it was the way she embarrassed me in front of other people. Like, narcissists are very sarcastic. And she said it's the way that she embarrassed me in front of other people because of the way I prefer to, you know, eat my oatmeal. I prefer to have this in my oatmeal, or, you know, have things, eat my food the way I choose to and when I want to. But instead, she tried to make a joke out of it in front of people, and I was just like, "You've done this too many times before." And I'm not trying to, and not so much about the oatmeal thing. That's just an example, because that's what they do. They kind of pay so much attention to what you do, so they make you feel like your preference doesn't make sense. If it's not the way they would do something, then the way you doing it don't make sense, and nobody else does it that way. So you're weird. You're strange, and you're just different from everybody. And they try to make you feel unacceptable. And that's crazy. Like, that is a way that they do that. They pull the crazy making tactic on you. And again, so that's why she decided, I'm not coming back around you anymore. I'm not asking you anything about breakfast or what's your plans for the day or nothing. Because the way you've been talking to me lately is like you got a problem with me. And so, you know, I was like, well, the best thing about it, the good thing about it is that you've seen it for yourself. Nobody had to warn you. And that we can both relate to it. So you're not just imagining things. You hit the nail dead on the head with that one. So, you know, so we just started to conversate from then on. But then the narcissist again, she tried to do things not only to punish me because me and a friend were getting closer. She started to punish her even worse because she was the one to really call her out when she pick up on certain little devious things that she would do to her. It's like she would start to pick with her to get a respond out of her or get a reaction out of her because she knew she was losing her as a friend. And I was there to witness it, just to let her know, yep, I'm with you. I see good what she's doing. Trust me, I've been there. I go through it every day with her. You know, this is new to you. And the crazy part is, you see it for yourself. Nobody had to tell you nothing. We just discussing what we see because it is mind blowing to a person who's just experienced something like this with a so-called friend. So they've made the friend more angry enough to be like, some people they're gonna meet the narcissist where they at. If you want, you won't take it there, then we could take it there. They'll be all for it. And some just choose to just like let the narcissist do what they do, and they handle it more quietly in a more, like in a way to where they're not making it obvious that you're getting to me. But she let her know that she was getting to her, which I was telling her, and that's why she's doing it, to get a kick out of your reaction. And she know that you wouldn't mind, you'll go toe to toe with her. See, I wasn't trying to go there with her, but I was still able to get my point across and protect myself at the same time. So we just dealt with this narcissist different. And the way she tried to destroy this woman's identity is by going around talking to their mutual friends and just doing the same thing. Narcissists don't do nothing new. Doing the same pattern of, smearing and devaluing her and just everything. So she was like, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to get my point across in a way where um she'll see it and everybody else who we know. So she said, now when we went to a Christmas party, she brought me this pajama set that is still in the gift bag. and everything and unwrapped, not even taken out the pack. She say, what I'm gonna do is go to Facebook, record myself throwing it in the trash, and I'm gonna caption it, never take a gift from a person who, and whatever, whatever. But she perfectly described the narcissist. And she said, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook. So she did it. And I was like, you really did that, huh? I wonder what she was thinking. She said she probably got me blocked though. But other people who know us will see it and probably tell her. Come to find out, she didn't block her, so she seen it. And I said, ooh, baby, that's gonna push her buttons even more so, which it did. So she tried to do more damage by going around speaking bad of this person and all that. So she started to kind of feel like the both of us are in on things together. Nope. So they seen each other one day in the evening time. This is way after work. And she told her, you know what? I want to tell you, you just been moving real funny with me and stuff like that. And I don't know what I did you. So the friend just ran it down to her and she said, I told you that before. And she was like, I told you then, you changed. And I didn't take you to be that type of person. Like, we've known each other for about 3 or 4 years now. And you just been showing me this side of you. And she also told her she didn't think that the way she treated me was right. That's another thing that really got to her. And she said, and on top of that, we're all grown. You can't control who I choose to talk to. I could talk to who I want to talk to. And I say, and that's the problem with them. They want to be so much of control. They want to control who you talk to, who you like. She tried to destroy my identity to you. It didn't work. She tried to destroy my identity to the people around us. It didn't work. Now she's trying to do it to you. It's a pattern that they do with everybody. Like the narcissists, they don't do nothing new. That's just how dumb they are. So it's like when people do congregate and put their head together to speak on the things the narcissists do, it's clear that it's true. Because they make it so obvious. They don't come up with any new ideas, which they shouldn't have any idea to hurt anybody in the first place. That shouldn't even be a thought. Take your loss. Take accountability. Do some self-reflecting and check yourself sometime and say, look, maybe I need to change because all these people aren't having the same problem out of me for no reason at all. Maybe it's me. Sometimes it's you. And that goes for all of us. All of us got to check ourselves sometimes. We're not going to be perfect, and we're not going to be perfect in all areas. We may be better at some things than others, but you're still not perfect though. There's always room for improvement. But to a narcissist, they're perfect, and they should be looked at as perfect in everyone's eyesight. But that's not real life. And that's a hard pill to swallow for the narcissist. So that's it. They just want to destroy people's identity because theirs is being exposed. And they refuse to be accepted as the person who turned out to be different from what everybody thought. So to take the smoke off them, they got to put it on you. And so yeah, and here's another thing that happened in that situation. They end up slowly talking back because the friend told me, I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna mess with her conscience. I say how? But let me go a little further back. Before she did that, of course, they worked together in the evening. And I know y'all, I kind of gave y'all bits and pieces of this already. They worked together in the evening, and the narcissist would do this thing to where she would deliberately hide things from the first, just the thing that they do. She was hiding the lady's keys so she could get in the side of the building where she need to be. She would keep the gate locked, knowing that it's supposed to be open for all the other people that's coming in behind them. But of course, that's the narcissist. They want to beat you to the punch, be the first one there, so they can be in control of how things are in operation. So by her locking the gate, they would have to call her to say, I'm at the gate, let me in. And it's not supposed to be like that. So she just started to pull little things like that back to back. Every day was something new. And the friend got tired of it. So she called the supervisor on her, and they had a meeting, and they chastised her in front of everybody. She didn't take that well from what I heard. And it was just like, she said, now she's going to punish you when we get back to work tomorrow because of how I had to get her mind right, at work at night. And I'm like, whatever. I'm ready for whatever with her. Whatever she throw my way is going to be sent right back to her. I'm not fighting her or nothing. She going to get it all back. She should be tired of everything bouncing off of me and coming right back to her. So that went on for a little minute until she just kind of, how narcissists, what do they call it? When a narcissist, they kind of start to lose energy. They run out of things to do for the moment. And, collapse. So she collapsed with the friend. And, but I told her, don't let your guards down because she going to come up with something else. It's just a pattern. That's the thing they do. It's going to start all over again. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm being honest with you. And she was like, oh, and I'm going to be ready for her and blah, blah, blah. So that was that. And so the next day or the day after, whenever, sometime after all that went down, we were back at work during the day because we all work at the school. But the friend is a custodian and the narcissist do what I do. So she told me I'm going to mess with her conscience today. I say, oh, hey, Abby, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So she said, I'm going to mess with her conscience. And I'm like, oh, Lord, be careful with that. And she was like, oh, I got your back. You know my girl, she ain't. And I'm like, I'm not worried about that. Like, the narcissist is already a miserable person. So they're already defeated. They feel defeated when they wake up in the morning from the little bit of sleep they get overnight. Because evil don't rest. They go to bed thinking of a master plan. They wake up on the same thing. So it's like, I know what to expect from that. But with her, I'm just like telling her, like, don't wear yourself out with the tit for tat thing with her. Because you don't want to stoop down to her level. And she was just saying when she went to the doctor, how she experienced, stress. And I'm like, I know, I told you. Don't stoop to her level. I've been there. I had to go to the doctor for stress. Because you kind of wear yourself out by trying to stay ahead to keep the peace. Because the narcissist, they will try to keep you on your toes. Always trying to get ahead of you to do some of the most devious things. To ruin you. Just to wear you out. And even though you know the ropes and you stay ahead, it's still a lot on you. It becomes overwhelming to where you realize you don't deserve this. What am I running this race for with this person? Just to, maintain sanity. Like, we all know who the crazy one is, and it's not you. So once you realize that, you could kind of slow down and move at a more steady pace. The narcissist will realize that the narcissist will realize that you not gonna give up. You're not gonna go down there easy. I'm not gonna say they gonna give up, but they're gonna start to see that strength in you, you know, something that they despise. Because they have to use evil in order to bring you down, you know. So again, she mentions that she gonna mess with her conscience today, and she said, I'm gonna ask her, I'm just gonna ask her a question like, hey, what y'all got for lunch today? Or what did you have to eat today for lunch? So she said, I'm gonna start off like, hey, good morning, such and such. What you had for breakfast today? Or what you had for breakfast today? Or, or something like that. Or it's cold out there. You see how cold it is this morning? It was just like 70 degrees yesterday. And I said, oh, boy, this is gonna be interesting. So I was in there to witness it. And when she looked at her, the narcissist, they have this look, and everybody know the look in the narcissist. They know the different stares, the evil eye, the death stare, the stare when they just look dead behind the eyes. We all, all familiar with the look of the narcissist, the different eye contact. And what she did was, they do this thing, which I've seen it so many times from different ones, is the bulging eyes. And this is like their mind just all over the place. Like, oh, okay, she's supposed to. Like they get excited, and then the excitement goes from, okay, so what should I do because I want to keep things this way? I gotta keep up with this. You know, I gotta show happiness, but not too much. I gotta make them think that it's whatever with me. I'm cool, or it could have stayed that way. They don't want them to stay that way. They want you back. They want that control back so that they can punish you for the way you've been with them. That's how they operate. And so that was the look she had in her eyes. Within a matter of seconds, when that woman asked her a simple question that morning, and she said, I just wanted to mess with her conscience. And I was like, well, that's not going to move the narcissist. They're not moved by that. And they're not going to give you no pushback right now. If anything, they are very calculated. So they thinking of a strategy to get back in good with you now, since they figured, oh, I know she was going to. Now, they might get a little, they're very egotistical, and they kind of feel like, they God's gift to everybody. So she's thinking like, yeah, I know it's a matter of time for she break the ice and start talking back to me first. But she was just messing with her, just testing. And I did the testing before too in the past. But I will never do it again once I realized they're not worth it. It's not worth playing with a narcissist like that. Hey, don't belong here. Yeah, that evil stare. It's like something you'll never forget. Once you make the eye contact and you're able to just put a name on it, want you to, it's something that it's undescribable. I don't know. It's just so many different stares they get, but ugh, either way it goes, it's just something you don't want to see. But so that's what happened with that. They slowly started to back talking, but she still wasn't coming around her. She still wasn't hanging with her. It wasn't the way it used to be. It's not the way it used to be. But they have small talk. But it's the narcissist who's trying to engage the most. They cannot hide their true intentions. They can't. They can only hide it for so long. But when you've been there with them before, you kind of, you keep your guards up. You deal with them in a different way now. You move different with them. And that's how she is with her now. But the narcissist, she think that she got her locked back in, and little do she know. Because we still talk about it. So lately, she's like, she was like, she's still trying to get back in that position of manipulating people and gaslighting people or smearing people. So she was like, and she still got the evilest ways, because you should have heard the way she was talking at work last night. I said, well, she's not going to change. She just was happy to to hear your voice again and have a little conversation. So now what she gonna do is talk your ear off and get you caught up on what's going on in her life. She do not care that y'all are talking. She just missed that energy. She missed that supply. Now she got to catch you up on her life, like if it's so interesting and you missed out on something which you didn't and you don't care. But you also notice, you know, it was just a matter of time before she started showing that ugly face again. So she started to talk about me. And she was like, yeah, and that be this and that be it. I was like, I don't care. She was like, I know. And I was saying, but you can't feel that way about that girl. And she said, so she got quiet the rest of the evening. I say, see, only because you spoke up for me. You know how people say, why was someone so comfortable talking about me to you? Well, what did you say in my defense? And I really felt like for the moment I didn't have to feel like I can't trust you either. I know that she don't mind testing her. I wouldn't take the chance for that because they not worth it. But you know, some people do that just to pass time. But they still know what the deal is and who they dealing with. So she let her know, you know, um, you can't make me feel that way about her. I like Felicia. She a sweet person. Like, we be talking about everything. She was not trying to hear that. She was like, she walked away and everything. I'm like, I don't care. So I finished up my work and I got on out of there. I ain't even tell her good night. And that's that. And she said, if she mentioned anything else to me, I'm gonna let her know the same thing. Like, you can't get mad at me because who I choose to associate with. I said, I mean, like, ugh, how is that so bothering to her? Oh, I forgot, because she lost control of a false narrative she created a long time ago. Her plan to destroy me and my image to you and everyone else is failing around the workplace. You wanted to destroy my identity. You couldn't. You trying to destroy that woman's identity. You can't. You're only revealing your own true identity. And that's what they fail to realize. In the end, you're the one who's going down. That hole you dig for everybody else, you going to fall right in it. And they can't handle humiliation the way they want to dish it out to people. All the stuff you try to do to her and me, you can't handle it. People going to see how weak you really are. You're a coward and you weak. And you need people behind you to bring somebody down. So that tells you a lot about your true strength. You really don't have any true strength. Because God ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing. You're nothing but just another agent of the devil. You doing the devil's work. You're allowing the devil to use you for the dirt that you do to people. He got you convinced that there's a reward for you in the end. All you got to do is do this for me. He is fooling you. He fooling you. But you fail to realize it because it felt so good to be in a powerful lead position and everyone just bows down to you and just make you feel so grand. And you not. That's an ego thing. At the end of the day, you're lonely, you're miserable, you're sad, you're in your thoughts. You don't get any sleep. You look horrible. You collapse at times because you run yourself raggedy trying to keep up with the wrong things, and you do wrong. You've done wrong for so long. It's all over you. It give you a horrible look. You're losing your teeth. You're wrinkled down. Your hair is shedding a lot, like a dog. Your hair, the receding hair, like you looked so different when we first met from the way you do now, because you have tried so hard to destroy me and you couldn't. Now I'm looking the difference between when I first met you and now. It's like you're the one drained, not me. The plan you had for me, it fell right back on you. And you did this to yourself. The narcissist cannot destroy anyone's identity the way they want to. It's really only going to show who they are. That's their plans, but that don't mean it's going to fall through. And it's not worth going toe to toe with the narcissist, trying to prove yourself to a narc, explaining yourself to a narc. Don't waste your time on that. Protect yourself. Get away from the narcissist. Thrive. Go in a different direction. Set those boundaries. Give them nothing to go on. And as hard as it is to maintain that position when you're working with one, in a workplace, it can happen. It's possible. I know. I live this. I'm not advising anyone to deal with it if you don't have to, but it's possible if you don't have any other choice. The same thing goes for couples. I feel sorry for a person who have to live under the same roof with a narcissist. I feel so sorry for you. Please get out as soon as you can, the best way you can, though. And don't let them know nothing. Because the longer you stay with the narcissist, the more they're going to destroy you and your identity. They do want people to think of you as a horrible person. You're going to start experiencing, maybe weight loss, weight gain, anxiety, ADHD, because they make you develop this sudden forgetfulness, sleepless nights. You may end up having a nervous breakdown because so much is on you and you trying to keep up, and you can't keep up, trying to keep up, but you can't keep up because more and more is added onto your plate. Your image may decline, and your health, physically and mentally. You may even start to forget how to speak. When you open your mouth, you have every intention on saying one thing, but when you open your mouth, you just wish that you could just disappear in the moment. And they standing up there watching you, wanting you to fail. The narcissist had bad intentions for you in the beginning. It was always jealousy, it was always a plan to destroy, take over, and be you. And all of that still doesn't make them a better person, because they can't even keep up with you. They can't keep up with you. So when that happened, and she told her about herself and everything, the narcissist just they're still trying to do the same thing and suck this person back in, And she's starting the same thing, trying to trying to hoover her and bring her little gifts. Well, didn't you see the gift she threw away on Facebook? And that's why I was telling her, what was the point of you doing that? Because you got to be careful with a narcissist. Because trust and believe, if they could really have their way 100%, she would have destroyed you way before you threw the gift away. If she really had her way like that, that's a dangerous game to play with a narc. But, she took her chance to do it, and there was nothing I could stop about that. But I did warn her, I wouldn't bother. It's not worth it. And you got to be careful when you do things like that with a narcissist. It's best to ignore them and move on. That is what kills them, because they weren't expecting you to move on. So you just show them something that is very possible, because they think you're not strong enough to. Every time the demon starts a conversation with the lady should always come up with something to walk away from her. Like, she could say, oh, I forgot I need to make a phone call. She do that. She do it. And she be so excited. They love to reserve your time. So she'll be like, all right, just come back on. I'm going to come over there and holler at you in about an hour. And I'm like, you just don't know. She really not trying to mess with you. She passing time while we're here at work. She don't mess with you. She called me in the evening, Yeah, that evil thing. She was talking up a storm tonight, and I was telling her, girl, I ain't hear nothing you said. I had my headphones in. And I said, well, that ought to make her feel stupid, but trust me, she not. Because she feel like, oh, I'm back in now. That's how they operate. That's an ego thing. So she's like, she was like, yeah, she just still hates you. And I don't understand why. And she was like, but I could help you to report her, and I could do this and I could do that, and I could make some false reports on her. It'll be real, but I'll just use another person to do it. I'm like, nope, you don't gotta do none of that. God sees all, he knows all. Her day is coming. Trust and believe, I know. And I ain't even looking forward to it. It's going to come. I'm doing me. I'm not trying to count down and look forward to the day where she get it all back. She gets it back every day, but I don't need to see that. That's gonna be between her and God. The way God chooses to deal with us, that's between God and the person he's dealing with. I don't have nothing to do with the way he chooses to deal with his people. The way he serves punishments and blessings, I don't have nothing to do with that. The blessings, I'm happy for you. The punishments, I just be looking like I ain't got nothing to say. I'm not gonna take joy in the punishment because it's sad that someone lost their soul and never got delivered from being that way in the first place. So I'm not gonna take joy in it, and I'm not gonna wait on it either because I've seen it. I've lived enough through this type of stuff dealing with people to know that their day is coming. My day coming, your day coming. All of us got that time where God gonna have, we gotta face God and he gonna deal with us on a certain level based off how we have lived. But we talking about a narcissist and the intent to hurt people and destroy people. You know, I've dealt with that, and I'm just trying to tell her that don't waste your time like entertaining her or nothing. I know you passing time. It might be something just to talk about, to laugh at, but we ain't got to talk about her. She ain't got to be the conversation. We could be talking about other things. And even though this channel, I speak on narc abuse and everything, I know sometimes y'all get tired. I want to change the subject, but that's what the channel is based off of. That's what, you know, even though I've done stuff way in the past on my channel, but I've transferred it to this. So I got to talk about it because so many people are watching and that's what they subscribe for. I owe it to y'all, and I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate the support. I really do. And like they say, it don't cost nothing to like. So if the content is doing something for you, if you could take something from it, please like the video. Please like the video. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because I gotta go make a run. I'm actually sitting out in my car right now. I had a change of plan, even though I was supposed to uh come back on camera, but I had to change the plan. I gotta go make a run and do something before night catch me because I don't like to be out. I don't like driving at night. I just don't. And I don't like wearing glasses at night. So again, I'm gonna go ahead on and end it here. I want to thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts down below. And I will see you in the next one.